chosen one, listen carefully. I carry an urgent and weighty message today, and this message is not for everyone. If you do not walk the divine path of God, if your spirit is not aligned with truth, obedience, and purpose, then this message will not resonate with you. But if you are still watching, it is because God allowed it. Only the true followers, the disciplined, the called, and the chosen are meant to hear this. This message has reached you at the exact moment your soul needed it, not a second early, not a second late. And I say this boldly and without hesitation. This revelation will change how you understand your past, your delays, and your silence. Chosen one, there is a reason God hid you until now. There is a reason you were kept away from the spotlight, misunderstood, overlooked, and separated. And today, I will reveal the number one reason behind it. This is not punishment. This is divine strategy. If you stay with me until the end, you will finally understand why your life unfolded the way it did, and you will feel a deep peace settle into your spirit. Before we continue, chosen ones, give a like to this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, tap the bell icon, and share this message with other chosen ones so they can receive this divine clarity as well. And comment 777 in the comments to declare that you are aligned with God's timing and fully ready for what He is about to do next in your life.
The divine pattern of God, hiding His chosen. Chosen one, let me speak to you calmly now, the way a wise teacher would sit beside you and explain something you have questioned for years. What you experienced was not random. What you endured was not a mistake. God has a pattern, and once you see it, your confusion will begin to dissolve. God has always hidden His chosen ones before revealing them. Always. This is not new, and it did not begin with you. It is a divine strategy that runs through scripture, history, and spiritual law. Before God uses a person publicly, He forms them privately. Before elevation, there is concealment. Before authority, there is isolation. You were hidden because visibility would have damaged you before you were ready. God does not expose raw vessels. He prepares them in silence. When God hides someone, He is not rejecting them. He is protecting them. The world misunderstands hiding. The world calls it delay. God calls it preparation. Think about this. Seeds grow in darkness before they ever see sunlight. A child is formed in a hidden place before birth. Gold is refined under intense pressure, away from public view. The most valuable processes happen unseen. God works the same way with His chosen. You were removed from certain spaces because you were too sensitive at that stage, too open, too trusting, too unfinished. God knew that premature exposure would harden you in the wrong way or break you completely. So He stepped in. He separated you, not because you were weak, but because you were valuable. This is why your path felt different. While others seemed to move faster, gain attention earlier, or receive approval sooner, you were slowed down. While others were celebrated, you were overlooked. While others were surrounded, you were isolated, and you wondered why. You questioned yourself. You asked God what you did wrong. But hear me clearly now. You were not behind. You were being hidden. God hides His chosen from crowds before placing them over crowds. He hides them from noise before giving them a voice. He hides them from shallow connections before assigning them to meaningful impact. You were not meant to blend in. You were meant to be formed. There is also something else you must understand. Hiding develops discernment. When you are removed from constant influence, you begin to hear God more clearly. You learn the difference between His voice and your emotions. You learn patience. You learn restraint. You learn how to move without applause. This is essential for someone who will carry authority. Chosen one, God cannot place weight on someone who still needs validation. He cannot elevate someone who depends on external approval to feel secure. So he hides you until your identity is rooted in him alone. That process is uncomfortable. It feels lonely. It feels unfair, but it produces stability. Another reason God hides his chosen is because of people. Not everyone who smiles at you wants you to rise. Not everyone who applauds you is assigned to your destiny. There are people who would have attached themselves to you too early and drained you. There are people who would have studied you only to sabotage you. God sees intentions you cannot see yet, so he removes you quietly. You may have noticed this pattern. Every time you got close to certain environments, something fell apart. Doors closed suddenly, relationships dissolved unexpectedly, plans collapsed without explanation, and you felt frustrated. But what if those closed doors were God's hand? What if those interruptions were protection? God hides his chosen because they are targeted. Light attracts attention. Calling attracts resistance. Anointing attracts warfare. Before you were strong enough to withstand it, God concealed you. He allowed you to grow roots before facing storms. And let me say this clearly because many chosen ones struggle here. Hiding does not mean inactivity. Even when it looked like nothing was happening, God was working. He was rewiring your thinking, healing your inner wounds, correcting pride you didn't know you had, softening hardness, strengthening boundaries, teaching you how to stand alone without becoming bitter. Some of the most important lessons cannot be learned in public. Humility is learned in obscurity. Faith is refined when no one is watching. Obedience is proven when there is no reward yet. God watches how you behave when no one validates you. That is where true character is formed. You were hidden because God was teaching you how to carry silence without resentment, how to trust him without evidence, how to wait without losing hope. These are not small lessons. These are the foundations of spiritual authority. Look back now and you may realize something. The season that hurt you the most also changed you the most. The season where you felt invisible also made you stronger internally. The season where you felt forgotten also taught you dependence on God alone. That was not accidental. That was divine design. Chosen one, God does not rush his masterpieces. He does not unveil unfinished work. He takes his time, and when he reveals what he has hidden, it carries weight, it carries depth, it carries authority. So release the shame of your past isolation. Release the frustration of being unseen. Release the comparison with those who rose faster. Their path is not yours. Your calling required depth, not speed. Stability, not noise. You were hidden because God was protecting your future self. The version of you that can stand firm. The version of you that cannot be manipulated. The version of you that moves with wisdom and discernment. This pattern is consistent. God hides, God prepares, then God reveals. And when he does, it is undeniable. What he has done in you privately will speak louder than anything you could have done publicly on your own. Rest in this truth now. You were never delayed. You were divinely concealed. Chosen one, let me add this layer gently, because this is where many finally breathe again. God's hiding was also a season of unlearning. Before he could use you, he had to remove what the world placed on you. False expectations, survival habits, people-pleasing tendencies, mindsets shaped by pain instead of truth. You could not carry divine authority while still operating from wounded identity. So God pulled you back. In hiding, he stripped you of illusions. Illusions about people, illusions about success, illusions about yourself. That process felt uncomfortable because truth always does at first, but it was necessary. A chosen one who is not purified becomes dangerous to themselves and to others. God will not allow that. You were also hidden so that your faith would mature beyond emotions. Early faith depends on feelings, signs, and reassurance. Mature faith stands even when God is silent. You learned to keep praying when answers didn't come quickly. You learned to obey without applause. You learn to trust without constant confirmation. That is not common. That is trained. And understand this clearly. God hid you so that when you finally step forward, you will not need to announce yourself. Your presence will speak. Your discernment will be felt. Your peace will be noticed. That only happens when someone has been deeply rooted in solitude with God. Many people desire the calling, but they avoid the hiding. They want the impact without the process. God chose you because you endured what others walked away from. You stayed, you wrestled, you questioned, but you did not abandon him. That matters. So do not despise the hidden years. They were not wasted. They were sacred. They were the classroom where God taught you things that cannot be explained, only lived. And now, because of that season, you are not easily shaken. You are not easily impressed. You are not easily controlled. That is the mark of someone God has been preparing carefully. The number one reason God hid you: protection before promotion. Chosen one. Now we come to the heart of this message. This is the revelation that brings relief to your spirit if you truly receive it. The number one reason God hid you before elevating you was protection, not delay, not punishment, protection. And I say that with certainty, not speculation. God hides what is precious. He conceals what is powerful. He shields what is not yet ready to be touched by careless hands. You were not hidden because you lacked value. You were hidden because you carried too much of it. Many people want promotion, but they do not understand what promotion attracts. Elevation draws attention. Attention draws scrutiny. Scrutiny draws envy. Envy invites spiritual resistance. God will never promote someone before they are strong enough to survive what comes with being seen. So he hid you. You see, chosen one, there are levels of exposure that destroy immature vessels. God knows exactly how much pressure your soul could handle at each stage. He knew when applause would inflate pride. He knew when criticism would crush your confidence. He knew when access to certain people would corrupt your discernment. So he delayed visibility until your foundation was solid. This is where many misunderstand God. They think silence means abandonment. They think lack of recognition means failure. But in the spiritual realm, silence often means shielding. God does his deepest work when no one else is watching. Let me say something bold now. If God had exposed you earlier, some of you would not have survived it. The attacks would have been too heavy. The betrayal would have been too sharp. The temptation would have been too strong. God saw dangers you did not see. He heard conversations you were not present for. He detected motives hidden behind smiles. And because he loves you, he removed you. Protection is not always comfortable. Sometimes protection looks like rejection. Sometimes it looks like being misunderstood. Sometimes it feels like being left behind while others move ahead. But protection preserves destiny. You were protected from people who would have attached themselves to your calling without respecting your soul. You were protected from environments that would have rewarded your gift while draining your spirit. You were protected from opportunities that looked good on the surface but carried long-term damage. God will never exchange your future for temporary success. So he hid you until you were strong enough to say no without guilt, until you were wise enough to discern without fear, until you were humble enough to receive correction without resentment. Another part of protection is timing. There are seasons where being seen is dangerous, not because you are wrong, but because the environment is hostile. God does not plant seeds in winter. He waits for the right climate. He waited until your heart matured, your discernment sharpened, and your identity stabilized. Chosen one, you needed to know who you were without applause. You needed to know that your worth did not come from being chosen by people, but from being chosen by God. That understanding protects you from manipulation later. God also hid you to protect your character. Character is fragile when ego is still loud. Exposure too early can lock someone into pride or insecurity permanently. God will not allow you to become addicted to attention. He will not allow your identity to be shaped by opinions. So he trained you in quiet obedience. You learned to move without validation. You learned to stand firm when misunderstood. You learned patience. You learned restraint. These qualities are not accidental. They are armor. And let me say this clearly. The attacks you avoided were real. The traps you never fell into were intentional. The disasters you don't even know about were intercepted. God blocked things quietly so you would not even have to recover from them. Some people had to learn lessons publicly. You were taught privately. That is mercy. Protection also meant shielding your heart. Chosen ones are often deeply sensitive. You feel things strongly. You love deeply. You care sincerely. Without protection, that sensitivity can turn into bitterness. God hid you until your compassion was balanced with wisdom. There is also spiritual warfare involved here. When you carry calling, you attract opposition. God will never expose you while your spiritual defenses are weak, so he strengthened you in the unseen realm first. Prayer, discernment, self-control, inner authority. These are weapons, not decorations. God also hid you because your voice was not yet ready to be heard. Words spoken without depth lack weight. Influence without wisdom causes damage. God was preparing your message by shaping your life. Experience gives authority to truth. Now listen closely. Promotion is not God putting you above others. Promotion is God trusting you with greater responsibility. And trust must be earned through faithfulness in hidden places. You proved yourself when no one noticed. You stayed faithful when there was no reward. You kept your integrity when compromise would have been easier. God saw that. He never missed a moment. Protection before promotion also means God removes you from distractions. Too many voices confuse direction. Too many options weaken commitment. God simplified your life so you could focus. Chosen one, you were protected from becoming something impressive but empty. God wanted you grounded, not flashy, deep, not loud, stable, not rushed. And when promotion comes, it will not shock you. It will feel natural. You will not chase it. It will meet you. Because you were prepared quietly, your elevation will not destabilize you. So stop questioning the hiding. Stop resenting the delay. Stop comparing your path. What God protected you from was greater than what you think you missed. Your season of hiding was not a pause. It was a shield. And now, because of that protection, when God opens the door, you will walk through it with peace, not fear, with clarity, not confusion, with authority, not insecurity. That is the power of divine protection, and that is why God hid you until it was time. Chosen one, there is one more truth I need you to sit with, because this seals the understanding. God's protection also preserved your obedience. Had you been promoted too early, you might have listened to voices louder than God's. Success can make people deaf to instruction. Applause can drown out discernment. God hid you so his voice would remain the loudest influence in your life. In that hidden place, you learned to obey even when it cost you comfort. You learned to walk away when something felt wrong, even if it looked right. That obedience is rare, and God guards what is rare. Protection before promotion also ensured that when you rise clean. No hidden compromises, no secret dependencies, no divided loyalties. God wanted your elevation to come with peace, not paranoia, with confidence, not fear of exposure. And understand this deeply. God did not hide you forever. He hid you until it was time. Hiding has an expiration date. Preparation has a completion point. Protection gives way to purpose. So if you feel a quiet readiness forming inside you, that is not imagination. That is preparation reaching maturity. God does not overprotect. He releases when the vessel can carry the weight. You were hidden so you could rise whole, steady, and unshaken. And that kind of promotion lasts. Why your life felt harder than others. Chosen one, this is the question that has lived quietly in your heart for a long time. You may not have always said it out loud, but you felt it deeply. Why did your life feel heavier? Why did it seem like others moved forward with ease while you had to fight for every step? Why did joy come slower, peace feel delayed, and rest feel earned instead of given? Let me speak to this carefully, because this is where healing begins. Your life felt harder because you were being trained differently. God does not train everyone the same way. He custom designs the process according to the assignment. Easy paths produce fragile people. Deep callings require deep formation. What looks like unnecessary hardship from the outside is often intentional refinement on the inside. Chosen ones are not built for comfort first. They are built for endurance. God knew the weight you would eventually carry, so He strengthened you early. He allowed resistance to develop your spiritual muscles. Pressure revealed your weak spots so they could be healed, not hidden. Every challenge you faced was shaping something specific in you. While others were being entertained, you were being instructed. While others were distracted, you were being disciplined. While others were chasing approval, you were learning discernment. You were not unlucky. You were being prepared. Your life felt harder because you were more aware. Chosen ones feel deeply. You sense shifts. You pick up on things others ignore. That sensitivity is a gift, but before it is refined, it can feel overwhelming. God allowed difficulty to teach you emotional regulation, spiritual grounding, and inner stability. You were exposed to disappointment early because God was teaching you not to idolize outcomes. You were let down by people because God was teaching you not to depend on humans for fulfillment. You experienced delay because God was teaching you patience without resentment. These are not small lessons. They are advanced training. Another reason your life felt harder is because you could not escape growth. Some people can avoid their issues for decades. You could not. God confronted you early. He did not allow you to numb yourself with distractions. He brought you face to face with your fears, wounds, and insecurities. That was painful, but it was merciful. Chosen one, avoidance creates long-term damage. Confrontation creates healing. God chose healing for you, even when it hurt. Your life also felt harder because you were separated. Isolation is heavy on the soul when you do not yet understand its purpose. Being misunderstood is exhausting. Feeling different without explanation is lonely. But separation was necessary so you would not shrink to fit places you were never meant to belong. You noticed this early. You never fully blended in. Conversations felt shallow. Environments felt draining. You often felt like an observer rather than a participant. That was not arrogance. That was discernment developing. God made it uncomfortable for you to settle because settling would have cost you your calling. So He allowed dissatisfaction. He allowed restlessness. He allowed you to feel out of place so you would not become complacent. Your life felt harder because God demanded integrity from you even when compromise would have been easier. You felt conviction where others felt freedom. You felt restraint where others felt release. That internal tension was God guarding your character. Many people move faster because they cut corners. They numb pain instead of healing it. They distract themselves instead of growing. You could not do that. Every shortcut felt wrong. Every compromise disturbed your peace. That is not weakness. That is alignment. Another truth you must hear now. Some of the battles you fought were not even yours, but you were strong enough to carry them. Family burdens, generational wounds, emotional responsibilities placed on you too early. God allowed it because He trusted your resilience. That does not mean it was fair. It means it was purposeful. And let me say this gently. God did not enjoy watching you struggle. He was not indifferent to your pain. But He knew what was being produced in you could not be produced any other way. Your life felt harder because you were being taught how to stand alone without becoming cold, how to love without losing yourself, how to endure without becoming bitter. Those balances are rare. They are forged under pressure. You also faced spiritual resistance earlier than others. When someone carries light, darkness notices, confusion, discouragement, sudden fatigue, unexplained obstacles. These were not coincidences. They were signs that something in you mattered. God allowed you to feel the weight so you would learn how to release it properly. You learned prayer not as a ritual, but as survival. You learned faith not as theory, but as necessity. That kind of faith is unshakable. Look at yourself now. You are calmer than you used to be, wiser, less reactive, more discerning. You do not chase what once distracted you. You do not beg for what once tempted you. That is growth. Chosen one, your life felt harder because you were being shaped into someone who could handle responsibility without arrogance and influence without corruption. God was not building a performer. He was building a pillar, and pillars are formed under weight. So release the bitterness of comparison. Stop asking why others had it easier. Their assignment did not require your strength. Your path demanded depth, and depth is expensive. Your struggles were not signs of failure. They were signs of formation. You were not cursed. You were being carved. Now, as you look back, you may finally see it. The hardship refined you. The resistance strengthened you. The loneliness clarified you. The delays matured you. And because of that, you carry something others do not. You carry stability. You carry wisdom. You carry peace that was earned, not borrowed. Your life felt harder because God was making you ready, and readiness always costs something. Rest now in this truth. Nothing you endured was wasted. Chosen one, let me add this final layer, because this is where understanding turns into release. Your life also felt harder because God refused to let you live unconsciously. He would not allow you to drift through life asleep, reacting instead of discerning, surviving instead of becoming. He kept waking you up, through discomfort, through loss, through questions that had no quick answers. Awakening is never gentle at first. You were forced to mature while others delayed responsibility. You had to learn emotional strength while others leaned on escape. You had to develop self-awareness while others avoided self-reflection. That is exhausting, especially when you are young in spirit but required to be strong in character. But that early maturity is now your advantage. There were moments you wished you could be carefree like others, moments you wished you did not feel so deeply, think so much, or carry so much. But that depth is exactly what allows you to lead, guide, and uplift without losing yourself. God was shaping you into someone who could hold space for others without collapsing internally. Your life felt harder because God trusted you with truth early. Truth about yourself, truth about people, truth about the world. Truth brings clarity, but clarity often comes with grief. You had to grieve illusions others still live inside of. That pain was real, and it mattered. But now, look at you. You are not easily deceived. You are not easily shaken. You are not easily led astray. You move slower, but you move wiser. You love deeper, but with boundaries. You stand firmer, without needing to dominate. That hardness shaped gentleness. That pressure formed patience. That struggle birthed wisdom. And now, the same life that once felt heavy has given you balance. The same path that once felt unfair has given you clarity. The same process that once felt lonely has given you inner companionship with God. You did not suffer for nothing. You were being prepared to carry light without burning out. The silence was God teaching you authority. Chosen one, this part requires stillness in your spirit, because what I'm about to explain cannot be understood through noise. It can only be understood by someone who has lived through silence. And you have. Silence was not God ignoring you. Silence was God training you. Authority is not learned in crowds. Authority is forged when you are alone with truth, with responsibility, and with God Himself. Before God allows someone to speak with weight, He teaches them how to be quiet with wisdom. When your life went silent, when prayers felt unanswered, when doors stopped opening, when conversations dried up, that was not abandonment. That was instruction. God was removing distractions so you could hear clearly. Too many voices dilute discernment. Too much activity weakens depth. God reduced the noise because your assignment required clarity. In silence, you learned to listen instead of react. You learned to observe instead of explain. You learned to pause instead of rush. These are not passive traits. These are marks of authority. People who react quickly are easily controlled. People who move slowly with intention cannot be manipulated. Silence taught you emotional regulation. Earlier, things shook you more easily. Words hurt deeper. Opinions carried weight. But in the quiet, you learned how to steady yourself. You learned how to feel without collapsing. You learned how to sit with discomfort without running. That is strength. Authority does not shout. Authority does not rush to prove itself. Authority is calm. It is grounded. It does not need validation to exist. God was shaping that calm inside you. There were seasons when you wanted to speak, but God told you to wait. Times when you wanted to defend yourself, but something inside restrained you. Moments when silence felt unfair. But restraint is power. Anyone can speak. Few can remain silent with confidence. Silence also taught you discernment. When you stopped explaining yourself, you began to see who truly understood you. When you stopped chasing connection, you noticed who stayed. When you stopped reacting, you learned who was provoking you intentionally. Silence reveals motives. It separates truth from performance. God was also teaching you how to lead without control. Loud leaders dominate. Silent leaders influence. When you stopped forcing outcomes, you learned how to trust timing. When you stopped pushing people, you learned how to read them. That is leadership at a higher level. You also learned how to hear God without emotional dependency. Early faith often needs constant reassurance. Mature faith stands firm even when God is quiet. Silence stretched your trust. It taught you obedience without reward. That obedience is rare. Chosen one, God was teaching you authority over yourself before giving you influence over others. If you cannot govern your emotions, your thoughts, your impulses, you cannot be trusted with power. Silence exposed your internal chaos so it could be healed, not hidden. And yes, it was uncomfortable. Silence magnifies unresolved wounds. It brings fears to the surface. It removes distractions that once numbed pain. But healing requires exposure. God did not silence your life to punish you. He silenced it to cleanse you. Another truth you must understand. Silence separated you from false urgency. The world rushes everything. God does not. In silence, you learned patience. You learned that not every opportunity is divine. Not every open door is safe. Not every invitation deserves a response. That patience is authority. You no longer move out of fear of missing out. You move with intention. You wait for alignment. That is not delay. That is discernment. Silence also dismantled your ego gently. When applause disappeared, you were forced to confront who you were without affirmation. That can be painful, but it is necessary. Authority that depends on praise collapses under criticism. God removed applause so your confidence would be rooted in truth, not attention. You learned to be content without recognition. You learned to work without credit. You learned to remain faithful without being seen. That is integrity, and integrity carries weight in the spiritual realm. There is something else silence gave you: inner authority. You no longer seek permission to be yourself. You no longer need approval to trust your instincts. You learned how to sit with God and yourself until clarity came. That kind of confidence is unshakable. People who fear silence often fear themselves. You faced yourself. You wrestled with your thoughts. You questioned your motives. You refined your values. That inner work is what gives your presence power now. When you speak now, it is different. You do not over-explain. You do not over-promise. You do not overreact. Your words carry intention, and when you choose not to speak, that silence also communicates strength. Chosen one, God trained you to be still so you would not be shaken later. He taught you authority in private so you would not misuse it in public. He grounded you in silence so your influence would be steady, not chaotic. So stop resenting the quiet seasons. They were classrooms. They were refining rooms. They were sacred. Authority was not given to you suddenly. It was built quietly. And now, because of what silence taught you, you move with calm confidence. You listen more than you speak. You choose carefully. You respond wisely. That is not weakness. That is mastery. And mastery is the language God trusts. Signs God is about to reveal you. Chosen one, this is the part many feel in their spirit before they ever understand it with their mind. Revelation does not arrive loudly at first. It begins quietly, internally, as a shift. If you are paying attention, you will recognize these signs not as excitement, but as calm readiness. One of the first signs God is about to reveal you is peace replacing pressure. You no longer feel desperate to prove yourself. The urgency that once drove you begins to soften. You still care, but you are no longer anxious. That is not loss of ambition. That is trust settling in. God does not reveal someone who is frantic. He reveals someone who is steady. Another sign is detachment. Not apathy, but clarity. People, places, and desires that once pulled at you no longer have the same grip. You are not forcing separation. It is happening naturally. God is loosening your attachment to what cannot go with you. When revelation comes, you must move light, not heavy. You may notice your discernment sharpening. You sense intentions quickly. You see through surface-level interactions. You no longer need long explanations to understand where something is headed. That clarity is necessary before exposure. God will not reveal you while you are still easily confused. Another sign is silence feeling different. Earlier, silence felt heavy, lonely, and uncertain. Now it feels grounding, restful. You are comfortable being unseen because you know who you are. When solitude stops feeling like punishment, revelation is near. You may also feel an inner confirmation without external evidence. No dramatic signs, no announcements, just a deep knowing. A sense that something is aligning. This is how God prepares chosen ones. Quiet assurance before visible movement. Another sign is emotional maturity. Things that once triggered you no longer have the same effect. You respond instead of react. You forgive faster. You let go easier. God does not elevate emotional volatility. He elevates stability. You may also notice doors closing without pain. Earlier, closed doors felt devastating. Now, they feel clean. There is no inner resistance. That is alignment. When God is about to reveal you, He removes friction. There is also a renewed desire for order. You clean up your habits, your environment, your schedule, not out of pressure, but preparation. You want your life aligned because your spirit senses change coming. Another sign is less tolerance for noise. Loud environments, shallow conversations, chaotic energy exhaust you quickly. You crave depth, stillness, purposeful connection. God is refining your environment before revealing your assignment. You may feel a pull toward responsibility, not stress, but readiness. You sense you can handle more. You feel equipped, not overwhelmed. That confidence comes from preparation, reaching maturity. Chosen one, there is also a sign many overlook. People begin to notice you differently, not more attention, but different attention. They listen more, they respect your presence, they feel your calm. Revelation begins energetically before it becomes visible. You may also feel compassion increasing without draining you. You care deeply, but with boundaries. God reveals those who can love without losing themselves. Another sign is confirmation through repetition. Messages, themes, scriptures, conversations aligning without effort. God confirms gently, not aggressively. You also stop forcing timelines. You are willing to wait because you trust God's accuracy. That patience is a sign you are ready. And finally, fear diminishes. Not courage born from hype, but courage rooted in trust. You are not afraid of being seen anymore. You are not afraid of responsibility. You are not afraid of criticism. You are grounded. Chosen one, these signs do not scream. They whisper. But if you feel them, know this: God does not tease. He prepares. And preparation only happens when revelation is approaching. Do not rush it. Do not announce it. Stay aligned. Stay humble. Stay listening. What God reveals in His time carries authority. And when He reveals you, it will not feel sudden. It will feel right. Trust the process. You are closer than you think. Chosen one, let me add this final layer, because this is where reassurance replaces doubt. Another clear sign God is about to reveal you is that you stop seeking validation altogether. You are no longer asking people if you are ready. You are no longer looking for permission. You still value counsel, but your identity is settled. When God is about to move you forward, insecurity loses its voice. You may also notice that old fears resurface briefly, not to stop you, but to be released for good. Fear does not return because it has power. It returns because it is losing relevance. God allows it to surface so you can see how far you've come. What once paralyzed you now only passes through you. Another sign is that your prayers change. You stop asking God to fix everything and start asking Him to align you. You pray with clarity, not desperation. You listen more. You trust more. That shift signals maturity. You may also experience divine timing in small things. Conversations happen at the right moment. Insights come exactly when needed. Delays no longer frustrate you because they feel intentional. God is syncing your internal world with external movement. There is also a sense of quiet responsibility, not pressure, not anxiety, but readiness. You feel capable of holding more without losing yourself. That is crucial. God does not reveal someone who will crumble under attention. And finally, you feel gratitude for the hiding. Not just understanding, but appreciation. You see how it saved you. You see how it shaped you. When bitterness turns into gratitude, the season has completed its work. Chosen one, these are not coincidences. These are confirmations. God is gentle with transitions, but He is precise. Stay present. Stay obedient. Stay grounded. What is coming will not overwhelm you, it will fit you. How to stay aligned while you are still hidden. Chosen one, this is where wisdom matters most. Many people endure the hiding, but few remain aligned while they are in it. Alignment is what determines whether the hiding season produces strength or frustration. And I want to guide you through this carefully, like a teacher who wants you steady, not rushed. The first thing you must understand is this. Alignment is not about doing more. It is about doing what God is asking of you now, not what you think comes next. The danger in the hidden season is impatience disguised as preparation. You can begin to force growth, force exposure, force movement. That is misalignment. God does not respond to pressure. He responds to obedience. Staying aligned means accepting where you are without resentment. Acceptance is not surrendering your calling, it is trusting God's timing. When you stop arguing with the season, peace returns, and peace is alignment. Another key to alignment is guarding your inner world. When you are hidden, your thoughts become loud. Doubt tries to negotiate. Comparison whispers lies. You must be intentional about what you allow to shape your thinking. Feed your spirit truth, not speculation. Spend time with God, not just asking questions, but listening. Alignment also requires discipline without visibility. This is where many drift. When no one is watching, motivation fades. But chosen ones learn consistency in obscurity. You pray because it aligns you, not because it impresses anyone. You grow because it grounds you, not because it gets applause. That private discipline becomes public stability later. Another essential part of staying aligned is emotional honesty. Do not pretend the hiding does not hurt. God is not threatened by your feelings. Bring them to Him. Process them. Suppressed emotions create bitterness. Processed emotions create wisdom. Alignment requires truth, not performance. You must also stay aligned by protecting your boundaries. Just because you are hidden does not mean everyone deserves access. In fact, this is the season where discernment about people matters most. Do not explain your calling to those who cannot hold it. Do not seek validation from people who do not understand your depth. Silence is protection. Chosen one, Alignment also means not rushing clarity. God reveals in layers. Sometimes you know the direction without knowing the details. That is intentional. Clarity grows with obedience. Do not demand the full picture when God is asking for the next step. Another important practice is staying teachable. Pride can grow quietly in hidden seasons. You begin to think you see more than others. But alignment requires humility. Remain open to correction. Stay soft. Authority grows best in humility. You also stay aligned by honoring small responsibilities. Do not overlook what is in front of you. God often tests faithfulness in ordinary moments. How you treat people when nothing is at stake matters. How you handle routine matters. These moments shape character. Alignment also requires rest. Burnout is misalignment. God does not rush his vessels to exhaustion. Rest is not laziness. It is trust. When you rest, you declare that God is in control, not your effort. Another key is letting go of timelines. Timelines create anxiety. Alignment creates peace. When you release deadlines, you create space for God to move without resistance. God's timing is precise. Yours is emotional. Trust his. You must also stay aligned by refusing comparison. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to lose alignment. Other people's paths are not your measuring stick. You do not know what they sacrificed or what they compromised. Stay in your lane. Your pace is intentional. Chosen one, alignment also means keeping your heart clean. Forgive quickly. Release grudges. Let go of resentment. Bitterness weighs you down. Clean hearts carry authority lightly and wisely. You also stay aligned by remaining obedient in small promptings. Sometimes God asks you to pause, to reach out, to let go, to wait. These small obediences keep you synchronized with him. Ignore them, and alignment slips quietly. Another truth you must hear. Alignment requires trusting God more than signs. Do not chase confirmation constantly. Overchecking reveals insecurity. God speaks clearly to aligned hearts. Learn to trust what he has already shown you. You may also need to simplify your life. Too many commitments dilute focus. God often reduces complexity before revelation. Simplification is preparation. And finally, alignment means remaining grateful. Gratitude anchors you. It keeps you present. It reminds you that hiding is not rejection, but care. Gratitude keeps your heart open instead of hardened. Chosen one, staying aligned while hidden is not about perfection. It is about posture, a posture of trust, a posture of humility, a posture of obedience. If you remain aligned, you will not miss your moment. God does not forget aligned hearts. He responds to them. Stay steady, stay present, stay obedient. What is hidden with God is never lost. Conclusion. You are never forgotten. Chosen one, let me leave you with this truth settled firmly in your spirit. You were never forgotten, not for one moment, not in your silence, not in your waiting, not in the seasons where it felt like nothing was happening. God does not lose sight of what he hides, he guards it. Every delay had purpose, every closed door had intention, every quiet season carried instruction. You were not being pushed aside, you were being set apart. And now, you can finally see it clearly. What felt like absence was actually alignment. What felt like isolation was preparation. What felt like delay was divine timing working in your favor. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not missing anything meant for you. God's hand has been steady over your life, shaping you with precision, protecting you with love, and preparing you with wisdom. And when he reveals what he has been forming, it will make sense why it could not happen sooner. So, rest now. Release the weight. Let go of the questions that no longer serve you. You do not need to chase what God has already assigned. You do not need to force what God has already timed. Stay faithful, stay aligned, stay humble. And remember this: what God brings forth from hiding carries authority, not noise. It carries depth, not haste. It carries peace, not fear. Before you go, chosen one, if this message spoke to your spirit, give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Tap the bell icon so you don't miss what God is revealing next. And share this message with other chosen ones who need this clarity. And comment 777 below to declare that you trust God's timing and you are fully aligned with His purpose for your life. You were never forgotten. You are being prepared.